C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, Y, W, X, Y, Z. Is it correct?
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Education for all remains a right for everyone. Yet adult literacy is a major challenge in Africa today. Although progress has been made over the years in primary school enrollment and adult literacy as a whole, the number of illiterate adults has been on the increase. In Nigeria, the most populous country in Africa with an estimated population of about 160 million people, the illiteracy rate stands at 57%. In a bid to address this situation, the UNESCO office in Abuja and the government of Nigeria are working hand in glove to educate about 5 million illiterate adults and about 2 million out-of-school youths under the project Revitalizing Adult and Youth Literacy in Nigeria.
Capacity development is a necessity for the effective implementation of every well-thought out public program. Hence, the Federal Ministry of Education wholly endorses the individual and collective efforts by UNESCO and the National Commission for Mass Literacy, Adult and Non-Formal Education, toward ensuring that the necessary human capacity is available for the effective implementation of the revitalization project. These trainers are also expected to be deployed to 36 states and their city to facilitate the annual training of 1 million master trainers for a couple of years. This feat, if accomplished, will no doubt strengthen the national capacity to deliver quality mass literacy programs to the estimated 40 million illiterates in Nigeria in furtherance of our progress towards achieving education for all FN goals as well as the education-related MDGs by the 2015 target.
With this program, we have a partnership with the Federal Ministry of Education and also the National Mass Education Commission, NMEC, which is the premier partner within the federal ministry. And of course, literacy is something that happens on the ground, in rural areas where people live. So therefore, partnership with civil society organizations such as Mother-Child program that we have in Nasarawa State, developed by the First Lady of the Nasarawa State, is very, very crucial, because it's the civil society organization, NGOs, which are really directly working with the people, the learners, youth and adult learners, and people with a disability. So for us, with this partnership with the federal government, we are looking at different partners, not only within government, different ministries like youth, and community development. We are looking at women's ministry, but we are looking at also civil society organization, NGOs, and the private sector mobilization, so that together we can tackle the issue of illiteracy in Nigeria.
In recognition of the fact that ensuring basic education for all citizens is a major task for any government, the government of Nigeria provided an amount of $6.4 million for the implementation of the literacy project.
This project is purely funded by the NDG funds. The NDG funds are federal government funds. And it is provided specifically for the purpose of engineering the already money-bound adult literacy in the country. The program is like creating the right infrastructure for the evolution of basic education, and indeed the rest of the education sector. So without having the foundation properly laid, especially for the youth who are illiterate, as well as the youth who have left school, there's no way you can be able to. So providing skills, necessary skills, and then providing the basic skills in reading, writing, and arithmetic for the older generation who hadn't the opportunity to do it is an important foundation for the emergence of true modern education.
The project essentially is a self-benefiting fund project, meaning the federal government of Nigeria has provided money given to UNESCO to work on their programs to develop the country in terms of literacy. That's what they call self-benefiting fund. So planning work started immediately after the review of the project in last November 2012 to prepare for the next step, being the training of facilitators. In consultation with the National Commission for Mass Education, NMEC, we agreed to look at the training of facilitators in 2 steps. Step 1, do the zonal training. Each geopolitical zone consists of 6 states, and those 6 states will come together in a zone, and then we train master trainers there. Now, at that level, the zonal training is for master trainers who would then go back to their respective states and train facilitators for the literacy centers.
As part of activities being implemented under this 3-year project is the training of master trainers for the different geopolitical zones in Nigeria. One such training took place in Abuja in April 2013 and was officially opened by the Honorable Minister of State for Education.
Mass literacy, adult and non-formal education, is a critical component of the universal basic education system. This places a responsibility on the Nigerian nation to provide education opportunities for all Nigerians, including those who have never had any realistic schooling experience due to one impediment or the other, and consequently held down in poverty and ignorance by the fog of illiteracy. To allow 40 million illiterate Nigerians to flounder about in a state of ignorance, despair and helplessness is a potential recipe for national chaos. That is why the federal government, under the President Goodluck Jonathan administration, will continue to give serious support to every viable initiative that can make illiterate youth and adult Nigerians to become educated and economically productive citizens.
As illiteracy is a major concern in Nigeria, all hands are on deck to tackle the issue. One prominent personality working in this area is the First Lady of Nasarawa State, Her Excellency Hajia Salamata Tanko Al-Makura. Concerned about the status of women and girls, Hajia Al-Makura has over the years contributed to building and beautifying the lives of many underprivileged girls and women in her community under her project Mother and Child Enhancement Foundation, MACSEF.
The objectives of MACSEF: we have the capacity building here. We empower women in different skills, and we also have the income generating activities here too, by giving small loan to women, yes, to help themselves and their families.
I used the money she gave me as loan to buy some sewing machines, computers and chemicals from Kankara, Surat and the rest. So I started with youth and widows. So now that place is growing, it's growing, it's growing. We are able to produce some sodas for sale. They do it and sell it. Then those that are doing soda, in Kampala are also practicing. So in fact, with the loan we got from association, we are able to move up, and we are doing it very well. So I'm advising everybody, especially we the women at the state level, not to just stay in the town, leaving the community alone, because there are some that wants to do things, but they don't know where to start. So with the little I had, I was able to share it with them in the community.
And now I am happy I've brought them together, different tribes and religion. They've all come together and they've acquired things they say they've never expected or have learned before. So I'm so proud to do that. Most of these women don't eat even twice in their houses. So by these skills, they can now feed on their own. They can help even their husbands, pay their children's fee, and also They go out, I mean, they carry most of these things they learn from here to the market to sell, which has motivated me seriously since they've impacted some knowledge from the
Ni ɗaliba ce a nan, na koyon ɗinki ne a nan. To a gaskiya da muka zo muna koyo a nan, Allah ya sa mun fahimci komai har ya kai da mu dinnan muna ɗinka kaya da kanmu musa ba sai kun kai wa tela ba. Ko da keke ko ba keke na san inda zan ɗauki scissors in yanka in ɗinka shi da hannuna ba sai na ba lokacin kai wa tela ba. Abin da ya sa na koyi wannan na farko ban koye shi ba sai da na san education kaɗan. Saboda measurement din da zan koyi kaina na yi zan customer za su zo ba zan samu problem ba domin in gwada su in tabbata yayi daidai. To idan ku ne wannan dinki ina iya ma in biya wa yara na school fees, sannan kuma in iya in ciyar da gida na kafin mai gida ma ya zo ba zan yi disturbing din mai gida ba, ni zan iya taimakon economy kafin ya zo da abin da na koya, saboda haka na koya.
It's not all things that you need that your parents can supply for you, but with the little handwork you have, it can help you in feeding yourself, paying for handouts and everything. So this thing, it has really put smiles on my face. I'm really grateful to God because with this, I can teach my children how to be serious with their life. I cannot go to any man and say, I need this, I need that to destroy my life. Rather, this thing has helped me to control myself and be a decent lady for my parents. So I determined to learn them no matter what, because I was using the little opportunity I have during the long vacation from October to January. I said, let me learn before that time. I want to learn everything before going back to school and help myself.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
It is in recognition of our noble contribution to the promotion of literacy, skills development and the empowerment of adults and youths that UNESCO Abuja awarded her a certificate of merit during the launching of the Training of Trainers workshop.
We believe that it is part of UNESCO's really strategy to empower and motivate and recognize those in communities anywhere who are doing great job, so that communities are mobilized and to enhance their own capacity through participation in educational opportunities that are offered not only by government but also by NGOs or the private sector. And it is part of our clearinghouse role as an institution, premier institution within the UN, which look at education, to look at what are the good practices that we find, not only in policy making, but also in execution of quality programs that are responsive to the need of people. And in that respect, we can say the Mother Child Foundation has shown that they have, through the curriculum that they have, not only literacy, but skill acquisition, income generating activity, and a more comprehensive, holistic approach, looking at from early childhood all the way to adulthood, and integrating. Today, you cannot promote literacy without looking at the opportunity that the technology offers. And you can see rural women being trained to use computers, to use their cell phone in a more effective manner, so that they can manage their businesses. So we believe it's a very good program that should be scaled up. And we appreciate also the partnership that MACSEP has with the state government, so that literacy programs are delivered in a partnership. The role of UNESCO is to recognize that this partnership is a very good one and effective one.
This gesture by UNESCO was well appreciated. The First Lady expressed her delight in receiving such an award.
I really am overwhelmed.
and I'm encouraged to do more on the side of empowering my women and youth and the girl child education. Yes, because we know that we mothers are the first teachers of our children. And like I said, educating a woman is educating the whole society.
Her Excellency Madam Al-Makura followed this comment of joy with an act of appreciation by organizing a one-day sensitization workshop in Nasarawa State few days after receiving her award. Another recipient of the UNESCO award in this noble venture, Honorable Chinda Kingsley Ogundu, a member of Parliament, also shared his pleasure in receiving the Certificate of Merit from UNESCO.
Well, I feel honored receiving an award in this sector. I say so because there is an adage in my place that when you dance, you don't see your back. What it means is that the spectators are watching, and so far it's like saying congratulations and continue with what you're doing. Sometimes you go into a project, you begin to wonder if you're actually on track. But this is a clear testimony that I am on track. All it has done is to encourage me to put in more effort and ensure that this scheme does not fail. So I'm encouraged by the award.
The official launch of the Revitalizing Adult and Youth Literacy Program in Nigeria was followed by 5 days of intensive training of master trainers as the first step in the process of teaching adults and youths to be able to read and write. Participants at the training described it as an important and timely event.
Adult literacy is very important because it empowers adults, especially women, in skill acquisition and basic literacy, reading and writing, especially those that have not been opportune to be in formal education before. So this is their second chance, which is very, very important. It will add a lot of values to women. Now, when you has what we are taught this afternoon, the challenges women are facing in education. Now, an illiterate woman will not know how to take care of her children, will not know how to take care of her husband. We in fact will have a lot of challenges. But with literacy, these things will change. The woman will be empowered, the children, she will empower her children, and the whole home and the society will benefit a lot.
So that there are correlations between literacy and AIDS, between literacy and poverty, between literacy and environmental sanitation, between literacy and even infant mortality or maternal mortality. You can see that if a woman is educated, she will try by all means to educate her children. And I want to tell you, you hardly see a woman who is a graduate that will not want any of her children to be a graduate. So, level of literacy in any society increases the economic power of that state and that nation.
This workshop has opened our eyes to other sectors that have been neglected in the society. We have always been focusing on the formal education and neglecting the non-formal education. With this workshop, it has really shown the need that if there's going to be a positive change in this country, we must carry everybody along. And that includes non-formal education. It includes adults, young ones who drop out of school for one reason or the other, not because they want to drop out. Those who do not have access to it because they are deprived in one way. It's like giving them a second chance. And if we give them a second chance, it makes the whole society better for all of us. So it has really opened our eyes.
Well, I have been able to review what I learned many years ago and have some additions to it, especially how to mobilize volunteers to be able to assist, because government, all 3 tiers of government cannot do it alone. They need volunteers, people that will join hands with government to see that adults and youths that are non-literate are made literate. This is a very important aspect of education, knowing fully well that it's the adults who are the parents of children that make decisions for these children at this very beginning years of their lives. The children cannot take decisions themselves, and so it's the adults that are literate that will now decide that their children should go to school and to remain in school and to complete their education. So it's important in that respect, and also for self-sustenance of the family circle, that those who are literate will now be able to, encourage members of the family and, of course, the community to develop, to a certain level. When the adults and youths are literate, I'm sure much more development will be seen, because they'll be able to take decisions for the communities that will improve their livelihood.
With about 500,000 people enrolled in adult literacy classes, making it 1 out of 80 illiterate people, the issue of literacy is not taken lightly, as different people in different areas have seen the need to curb illiteracy in their different ways. The Amir of Garke in Abuja and his wife are two individuals working to raise the literacy level of their people through the Hikmah Foundation, a non-governmental organization. These two personalities have over the period trained many women and improved their levels of education.
Ina koyon karatun boko da Islamic school. Duka yana tafiya daidai. Yana yin shi.
So I work with FCT Agency for Mass Education. I'm working with them. I'm a facilitator under literacy department. So my department sent me here to come and facilitate the learners, to come and teach them how to read and write, so that they can be able to be enlightened. So now I want you all to read, if you can be able to do that. Let me see. Again.
Convinced that adult literacy is an inherent part of the right to education and an essential means of building people's capabilities to cope with the evolving challenges and complexities of life, culture, economy and society, the Amir of Garke, His Royal Highness Dr. Usman Gakupi, emphasized the importance of educating women and youths. In this message in Hausa, one of the widely spoken languages in Nigeria.
Farin gashi ba hana ilimi, ta saboda haka muna so ne ko da kai dattijo ne, ko kai namiji ne, mai gida ne, ko ke uwar gida ne, in Allah sa ba samu ilimin zamanin na yanzu ba, to a kwakarta a zo a shiga makaranta. Mun riga mun buɗe azuzuwa a nan fada, a za a yi karatu, don shi zai talafa mana, shi zai talafa miki, shi zai talafa maka, shi zai talafa ma ƴaƴanmu, kuma talafa ma kasa gaba ɗaya da duniya. Da zara an samu wannan ilimin, shi zai talafa ka ga komai na tafiya. Domin kowa sani cewa rashin sani yana kawo abubuwa, matsaloli marasa daɗi, kuma yana ɗaya daga cikin abubuwan da muka samu kama wannan Najeriya. Domin da zaran kana da ilimi, ka san rayuwar duniya, to kowa an ce ka yi wani mugun abu ne ba ka so ka yi ba. To saboda ka rashin ilimi ne ya sa muka samu kama wannan halin. Saboda kan majon hankulin jama'a ne a kwakarta kowa ya sa kai ya samu ilimin zamanin na yaƙi da jahilci. Ba kunya, ba tausayi, kada ka ce na manyanta in zan yi wani karatu zan yi. Babu, ai wannan an riga an wuce wurin. Ni ma kana da ina muku magana din nan ma, ai na kan sarauta ma ina nan na je karatu na ƙara ilimi. Ashe ban san amfanin ilimi ba zan sa kai in ce zan je karatu akan wannan kujera ba. Ta saboda haka makaranta ilimi yana da muhimmanci gare mu duka, musamman mun maza da mata, kuma magidanta ku talafa ku tura, in ba ku samu zuwa ba ku tura matanku sun ma su samu wannan ilimin. da suka samu wannan ilimi zai tallafa komai zai canza a gidajensu. Yara mu da muka samu ma sai su iya ta tafiya da yara mu. Saboda haka ne don Allah don annabi mu tallafa wa kanmu mu tallafa wa kasan nan don mu ga da cewa kafin a ce shekara 5 ko 10 mun samu cin buri. Dan na tuna kwanakin baya ina saurara a jawabin executive secretary na mass education Malam Jibrin Faiko yana jawo an kula cewa har wa yau akwai manyanmu wanda sun magidanta da yara da manyan mutanen da sun ga sun girma ba su da ilimin zamani. To kaga kuma yana jan hankulanmu ne dukanmu cewa kokarta mu ga mu samu wannan ilimi din. Saboda haka dukanmu mu kokarta mu ga da cewa an samu zuwa wannan makaranta, sa'annan kuma waɗansu kuma su kokarta su bude azuzuwa a ƙauyuka domin mu ga da cewa wannan ilimi ta samu. To na gode.
The efforts of UNESCO Abuja to work with the government, NGOs and well-known personalities will indeed bring about positive change in the lives of young people and adults as they jointly work hard to educate and develop skills in Nigeria, making adult literacy a must for sustainable development.